The Meta Shadow ranking system is still suppressing your content right now, and the FTC can't stop it. It doesn't remove your posts. It doesn't flag your account. It quietly assigns every piece of content a visibility score before a single follower sees it. Congress investigated, orders came, and the system is still running. Today, you're going to see the internal log they never wanted public. Meta calls it content distribution technology. Officially, it's a recommendation engine, the system that decides which posts surface in your feed and which ones sink. Facebook has used algorithmic ranking since 2009. Instagram followed. They've always told users the feed is curated for relevance. That's the public story. What Meta actually built is something categorically different. A real-time scoring system that assigns every post a distribution tier before your followers ever see it. Not based on content quality. Not based on your engagement history. Based on behavioral signals tied to your account, your comment patterns, your network associations, your posting cadence, the device fingerprint attached to your profile. The output is a persistent identifier, a shadow score, and it follows your account silently across every surface Meta controls. When you post on Facebook or Instagram, your content doesn't reach your followers first. It hits a classifier. That classifier runs a telemetry handshake against your account's behavioral record, checking whether you've been flagged through any of 17 internal trigger categories that Meta has never published and has actively resisted disclosing in litigation. If your account trips a trigger, your post is assigned reduced distribution. Your followers still exist. Your account still functions, but your content reaches a fraction of them. There is no notification, no appeal link, no flag on your profile. You never know, your audience quietly shrinks. People who followed you to see your content stop seeing it. You keep posting into a void that looks from your side of the screen exactly like a functioning account. That isn't an accident, that's architecture. And here is the open loop. The mechanism that makes this system impossible to shut down isn't a legal gray area. It's a structural feature of how Congress built the internet. The Federal Trade Commission opened a formal inquiry into Meta's content moderation practices in 2022. They pulled internal communications. They interviewed engineers. What they found was documentation of the distribution tier system and explicit internal messages acknowledging that users were never informed about visibility filtering. The FTC issued a consent order requiring Meta to improve transparency around algorithmic content decisions. Meta agreed. They published a transparency report. They updated their help center, and the shadow ranking system kept running. The consent order didn't prohibit reduced distribution. It required disclosure that ranking exists. Meta disclosed that. They just didn't disclose the criteria, the trigger categories, or the score, technically compliant, functionally unchanged. And now here's the part nobody in the press reported. The mechanism that makes this system untouchable isn't a loophole. It's a structural feature of how platform regulation was designed. The FTC can mandate transparency. It cannot mandate what the algorithm weighs. Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act explicitly protects platforms' rights to moderate, filter, and restrict content as editorial decisions. Every suppression the shadow ranking system produces is legally classified as editorial discretion. The same legal shield that protects Meta from liability for hosting dangerous content also protects Meta from liability for quietly burying yours. And the trigger categories, the 17 undisclosed behavioral signals that can move your account into reduced distribution. Those are proprietary, trade secrets. Even under a consent decree, the FTC cannot compel disclosure of the specific weights inside a private company's recommendation algorithm. The audit trail exists. Regulators have seen it. They cannot publish it and they cannot override it. Here's the callback to what I told you at the top. They were investigated. They were ordered to comply, and the system is still running. Not because Meta defied the order, because the order couldn't reach the system. There is no federal agency with the statutory authority to mandate specific algorithmic criteria at a private platform. Congress hasn't built one. The legal architecture that would let a regulator actually open that black box doesn't exist yet, which means the suppression is, by design, beyond reach. Right now, your Facebook page and your Instagram account are being scored. Every post you publish runs through the classifier. If your account has ever tripped a trigger, if you've been reported, if you've posted in certain topic clusters, if your network associations match a flagged pattern, you may already be in a reduced distribution tier. You may have been there for months. The drop in reach you blamed on the algorithm update, or on timing, or on the platform favoring reels over static posts. Some of that was this system. And there is no dashboard, no appeal, no way to check your shadow score. Meta's Help Center acknowledges that distribution can be limited for accounts that violate community standards. Your account doesn't have to violate anything. It has to match a behavioral profile. That's a different standard. And it's the standard actually being applied to your content, right now, without your knowledge. So here is the question nobody has answered on the record. If the shadow ranking system applies reduced distribution based on undisclosed behavioral triggers, and those triggers are trade secrets protected from regulatory review, and the system runs invisibly with no user notification, then who decides what makes your account a candidate for suppression? And what happens when that decision is wrong?